Hello friends all. On September 8, 2009, the people of Montserrat will be required to make as important a decision as any they have ever made, and as significant as the 21st century is challenging. Such a decision demands careful reflection. Facts and facts alone must underpin a decision which by its very nature cannot help but influence the lifestyles and livelihoods not only of the little children in our schools, but also of their children yet to be conceived. The 9 people who will be elected on September 8 will be required to re-establish Montserrat on the path towards greatness. For greatness transcends riches and fame. It is rather anchored in decency and humility, in love of God and fellow man. It is built on respect of one person for the other, and on the recognition that the space we share, our common heritage, is to be protected, defended, and ultimately transferred to those who by the grace of God will be chosen to inherit it. Some will be native Montserratians, and some will not be. In offering myself for selection as one of the 9 men and women who will undertake to inspire this nation to greatness, I have had to examine my life, my motivations, my training, and my achievements. And so I would like to first of all share a little bit of it with you. I must begin, however, by firstly apologizing to all those who encouraged me over the many years that I take this step. And that goes way back to even before I was 22 years old. To those who more recently did so and heard me say that I've been advised I can do enough at the level I'm at. And finally, to you who would have loved the chance to get to know me just a little bit more. Since, as long as I have been doing this, it is still possible you do not know who Bennett Roach really is. It is in doing this, and with the fullness and the conviction of the Holy Spirit, that I have become completely persuaded that my accustomed inclination of joining hands with other leaders and workers of this country and the region in the united effort for national reconstruction, there lies a personal quality that will help make for cohesive government with uplifting goals. I can make reference to my chairmanship of the National Development Foundation, my presidency of the St. Patrick's Cooperative Credit Union, and that's for as long as now 20 years, chairmanship of the Parish Council of the Roman Catholic Church, presidency of the Rotary Club, the local Rotary Club, membership on the CARICOM Single Market and Economy Education Committee, that's on the region, in the region, and a record of service to several organizations at management and other levels in sports, culture, business, broadcasting, and journalism. Now, my work as the editor of the Montserrat Reporter is one activity which, because of its nature, testifies publicly to my appreciation and connection with the very fabric of our society. But many people may not know how my various management, or for that matter my competitive participation in sports, have strengthened my personality. But having competed at national and regional levels in both managing and playing capacity in cricket, soccer, bridge, and golf, not to forget my accomplishment or by my accomplishing the triple championships in local tennis, and that's winning the championships in local tennis. Having served as a professionally trained and among the first fully qualified West Indies umpires and a soccer referee, my conviction of the last several years is that my perspective on how and why behavioral problems emerge and on the ways to correct them will be most effective when applied at the parliamentary level in our country. Similarly, with regard to service in music, as the choir director of the Catholic Church, serving for many years as the chairman of the liturgical committee still at the church. I acknowledge the dedicated discipline, cooperation, practice, and sympathetic but emphatic identification, not to mention correction of inadequacies, to have been one of the practical relationship building experiences that gradually translated into a commitment to forge unity from diversity, to create a safe home for all who would settle in this land, to build a country we can all be proud to call our own. When they were intending to take us all off this rock at the beginning of the crisis, I was there intervening. When you wanted to know what the package was being sought for those who had to evacuate, I was representing the voice of all, but encouraged by a small few who had asked. When George Fuchs, the British minister who visited after the famous Clay Short pronouncements, I welcomed him and led the consultative group to government groups proposals. It was not for want of my intervention through the newspaper that we ended up with an airport hardly adequate to assist us with our growth. I fought all I could to get better. And my biggest pride is what I achieved when I served on the Welfare Steering Committee that decided that people should be assisted wherever needed and possible. The recommendations, unfortunately, were not fully accepted by government, but it was a start. Now, I believe in the supremacy of the law, and that is the field and the root of my training, as I served in that field for the first 14 years of my working career. I will strive to remove inequities where they exist. For one, I believe laws barring public servants and ministers of religion from running for elected office need to be reviewed. I am similarly committed to a review of this country's taxation criteria and to minimizing the current burden of taxes on the people. And I will not let you forget that taxes are necessary. I regard it as essential that relationships between those who serve the country, serve this country as public servants, those who serve as policymakers, and those who contribute in private enterprise be clearly defined and better respected. In short, in every way that I can, I will defend decency and honesty and promote justice in our community. That is all I have been working for the people, I should say, and who live in this land. And it doesn't stop here. I do not believe anyone has interacted with our people in the diaspora, especially in the UK, where I've had to visit often enough to know that we are making a big mistake not to focus on their existence and well-being in the UK. They are us. In one short message, it is impossible to detail the depth of concern for our country that motivates me to offer myself as a candidate in the September 8th elections. I ask you, however, to examine my record of service and the needs and aspirations of our country. I believe with little research that you will find me in the kind of person who will stand up for your rights and serve the interests of a prospering community. You hear it in every time I interview anyone, and it has always, always been with the people in mind. You can read my beliefs and what I stand for if you look back at every editorial in the newspaper or on the internet, every radio program I have moderated or participated in. With all humility then, I ask for your vote on September 8th. May God bless you all, and may God bless us all, our country, and the people that live within it. I thank you very much.